Alright, howdy fellow Shadowpriest. Today we are talking about the new and exciting covenant for the one true fairy queen. We are going to be Night Fae Gaming, which is why we're going to G-quit Necro Gaming. G-disband Necro Gaming. So, Necro Gaming is done for, it's over. Take the legendary, where's it at? Delete it, it's garbage, you really don't need it. I don't even know where it is, but I would delete it if I could find it. So why are we playing Night Fae? You may have queued into a Night Fae Discipline Priest last season, and the obvious thing that was overpowered about them is that they give increased mana generation. They have a lot of resource generation, right? Like they can restore over 80k mana in a game, and that's just ridiculous. But for Shadow, you're going to get from the resource, you're going to get Insanity, and this is going to be really important when we talk about the 2 set and the 4 set for Shadowpriest. So your 2 abilities, you have Soul Shape, which I just used. It kind of just teleports you. You know, you've seen mages use it. They can use it for mobility. It's actually kind of nice using that to get fears and to kite away from melee. So that is one benefit, but that's not the primary reason why you're going Night Fae. You're going Night Fae for this ability called Fae Guardians, and it's really weird, and the more you read it, it seems like the less sense it makes, and the tooltips don't really do it any justice. The writing is very ambiguous. It's hard to tell like what this legendary even means, but we're going to try to dive into it as best as possible. So essentially, the main way you're going to use this ability is on yourself. So your Fae Guardians are going to give you Void Form CDR. You're going to get reduced time off of Void Form, just like when you play Driven to Madness, you'll get reduced Void Form time. So you kind of get driven auto by playing this if you're giving yourself the cooldown reduction, which in most cases, that's what I've been doing so far. Like playing Arena, I was playing with a Demon Hunter, and it didn't really feel that worth it to give him CDR. I was just getting hella Void Forms and trying to keep up the damage as much as possible. So that's something to keep in mind, that you can't give it to your teammate. The other thing that it does is it gives you Insanity generation. So any direct attacks against the target restores 0.5% mana or 3 Insanity. So you're going to get lots of Insanity with this ability up. Your main form of burst is going to be when you're in Void Form with Power Infusion and this Fae Guardians ability. You're going to get a lot of Insanity regeneration. So you're going to Void Form, and then I give it to myself right as I get into Void Form. That way you don't use it before you enter Void Form. I think the PvEers like to use it a global before they go into Void Form, just so that they're only doing DPS in Void Form, and they're making sure they get their Void Balls off and all that stuff. But in PvP, you're not guaranteed to get the Void Form off if you're not playing Void Origin, so it's better to just kind of instantly give yourself that buff once you're in Void Form. And now look at the cooldown. I just got out of Void Form, and it's up in 27 seconds, which is insane considering it's a 90-second cooldown. So we're basically shaving a good like 50 seconds off of that. And this can get even crazier if you combo with Driven, or you can also give it to your teammates, other stuff. So let's keep that in mind. The other benefit you have is when you power word shield someone, so you can have you can put the CDR on yourself, but then when you have this buff, the Fae Guardians, you can shield your teammate, and it's going to give them a 20% damage reduction. And if you're trying to go really try hard, you can combine the legendary, and this is not always what is going to be the best thing to do, but you might see me do it from time to time. You can use this Haunted Mask, which is essentially going to duplicate the effect of your Fae Guardians. And it's always, if you have multiple buffs, if you have 3 buffs or 2 buffs, it's always going to prioritize CDR over the other 2. So if you give yourself CDR and you mask yourself, it's always going to give you increased CDR. Even if you shield yourself, it's going to only give you 20%. But let's check this out. Once my Weakened Soul is gone, watch what'll happen here. I'm going to give myself the Fae Guardians. I'm going to cancel my other 2 buffs, and we might need to actually do this at some point. So I'm going to cancel my other 2 buffs. I'm going to shield myself, and it should give me a double shield. Oh, I still have the CDR, fuck. God damn it. Okay, well, I don't think I canceled all my buffs, but the idea behind this is your teammate's not going to have that CDR buff, right? So if I invited someone to a group and I shielded them, it'll give them the 20% because they won't have the other buffs. I don't have a macro to cancel all the buffs yet. Maybe we'll figure that out at the end, and I'll put that in the description. But that is one thing that you can do. So I think that kind of covers the 3 fairies. You're going to get damage reduction when you shield, which is like kind of like an Iron Bark, so that's dope. You don't need to worry about the Shadow Mend because it's automatically going to apply the CDR buff to you when you use the ability on you. So don't worry about that. There's no cases where you're going to like Shadow Mend someone to give them the CDR instead. You're either going to use the Guardian on yourself or your teammate. You're not ever going to really want to do it on a target. You're going to want to give it to yourself mostly, so just keep that in mind. Now, how does this interact with the 4-set? Let's go take a look at the 4-set. I'm on PTR over here. So I just went to PTR. I've got, you can see I'm in all my basic arena gear, but I bought the double legendary. So you're going to get this Bond Swamdees pack thing on your belt, and then you're going to play Talbotars, or I'm going to try first Talbotars on the legs. And the reason why I'm trying Talbotars is because Mind Blast is going to become a lot more important with this 4-set. So if we take a look at the 4-set, the 2-set casting Devouring Plague has a 40% chance to grant Dark Thought. Dark Thought is going to be your instant Mind Blast. If you ever are Mind Flaying and you just see that proc come up, I get avoidable proc, but you know, occasionally with that Mind Blast proc, that is what Dark Thought is. And if you have a 40% chance of casting that on Devouring Plague, the more insanity you get, the more Devouring Plagues you get, the more Dark Thoughts you have. And when you proc a Dark Thought, you consume a Dark, or consuming a Dark Thought causes your shadow to animate after a moment, whatever that means, dealing 4.1k damage over 6 seconds to all enemies within 10 yards of the target. So this is AoE that will break CC, depending on your comps. You know, this is, you're gonna have to position strategically or not Mind Blast in certain scenarios. For the most part, I don't think you'll have too many issues with this. Maybe they'll even change it so it doesn't break CC. We'll see. But you can see I've put the 4-set and then all my last season arena gear. So let's just pop in and do some DPS and see what this is really made of. So the whole idea is going to be to generate insanity. So we're going to play Auspicious Spirits is going to give us more insanity generation. And then believe it or not, the apparitions are going to fucking pump when we pop this as well. We're going to play Damnation just because there's too many global cooldowns. You're going to be surprised once you get into Void form as Night Fae, the insanity regeneration is almost too powerful. It feels like you're just going to be capped at 100% insanity if you're not always pressing globals. Playing this tree at the moment, but on live I've been messing with Dreamweaver. This one seems fine too. Your conduits should look like this. You're going to play Mind Devour to give you an extra chance at getting a free Devouring Plague, which is again going to give you another Mind Blast. So the Mind Blast gets you 10% more damage, and then your Talbotars is also 55%. So now our Mind Blast went from being almost useless to hitting 65% harder. And you know, on retail, if your Mind Blast hits for 2,500 and you times that by 0.55 and you add this to 2,500, so your Mind Blast is now hitting a lot harder. So yeah, going from almost like 1.5 times stronger, which is great. A little bit more than that. So we got Mind Devour. We're gonna play Clear Mind for more purges, play Dissonant Echoes for void form damage, Haunting Apparitions for the apparitions. Like I said, those are gonna pump. And lastly, the Leap of Faith, Light's Inspiration. This could, if I change this, I'll update in the description because this is very new and I'm sure we'll be tinkering around with it. So, all right, we can do stopwatch timer. So we'll do what, a minute in each. Compare the DPS / details reset. So here we go. I'm gonna do my non 4-set priest first. We even use Shadow Fiend this time. I have a fucking claw on. So I've got PvP trinkets, all last season's gear. I have nothing new, just the Night Fae legendary. We'll dot everybody up, or we'll start this first. Dot everybody up. I'm just gonna go void form now. Get my little thing. I'll probably should use Shadow Fiend at some point. Whoops. 13k. $14k. And we'll just stop it at 43. Let's see. Top damage, Shadowy Apparitions. We can look at that for a second. Dude, what? I just got ganked on the PTR. Here we go. This is with the 4 set, PvP trinkets, and an extra legendary. So let's try it out. I'll do my stopwatch. Start. Thought everybody up. Give myself the thing, spam DP. I should never, if you have a proc, you should always prioritize that Mind Blast proc over the DP, in my opinion, just so you can get more Mind Blast procs. $20K, bro, literally $20K, holy fuck, okay. Look at that. I mean, I stopped while I'm still in Void Form, so it might have still went up from there, but that's the difference with the legendary. Obviously I'm cleaving, right? So you can divide that number like in 4 if you want to, and it'll still be pretty insane. I guess like, yeah, my operations were my top damage before. They're still doing around the same damage. Only major difference is I have bonus damage from my Mind Blast. Like, look at my Mind Blast down here, right? A max I hit was 9K on retail, I believe. And if we go on PTR, the max I hit, whoa, what? 16K. So I hit what, a 9K crit, hit an 8K normal on PTR. So definitely gonna be a game changer. I mean, we went up a solid 7K DPS in that run, and you know, it's gonna be different if you're not cleaving, but overall you're gonna have a lot of fun with this 4 set, and just those instant Mind Blasts feel like way more meaningful. All right, everybody, I hope that cleared up some questions about Night Fae gaming. One thing that I don't think I was super clear about was when you use your Fae Guardian ability, say you're targeting someone, if you have the legendary, the mask is automatically to go on your target. So you need to kind of target yourself and mask yourself. You can probably make an @player macro or target player and then target last target to do this. But essentially, if you're giving the mask to your target, you're going to be giving yourself more insanity regeneration, which is kind of overkill considering we are, you know, already getting pretty insanity capped by giving ourselves the mask. And when you give yourself the mask, you're essentially giving yourself the legendary benefit, which is to double the power of the Guardian. So just make sure, like, heads up, if you don't have a way to quickly target yourself, make a macro for that, because you don't really want to be using the mask on your target. Make sure you're giving it on yourself. I don't think I was clear about that earlier, so I just want to clear that up. And lastly, people are asking me, you know, what are going to be the best comps, yada yada yada. So if you were asking, is Shadowpriest DK going to be good, the answer is no. As long as there are melee cleaves on the ladder, it will not be good. We lost to completely, and like I felt like every melee cleave that just did completely nothing right and was just able to destroy us. We lost to a Warlock, Ellie Shaman too, but overall we really struggled with the melee cleaves. We just could not beat them, and I think that'll continue to be the case. If it shifts over to a more caster meta, then maybe Unholy DK Shadowpriest will be good. We also figured out that Shadowplay is still bad. Not a single person got rank 1 playing Shadowplay last season, and there's a reason for that. It's just not good. We liked playing with the Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter, a lot of green in the Demon Hunter. I'm thinking that Rogue Shadowpriest will be super strong. The reason being, instead of giving ourselves CDR, we're going to give Rogues CTR, and that's going to give them, am I going to be able to find the Rogues legendaries? But it's called Duskwalker. I think you get Duskwalker on the ring, and it's a 1 minute, almost like reduction on Vendetta. So you go for, it's probably more like 40 seconds, but yeah, you go from having a 2 minute Vendetta cooldown to maybe like a minute 20, minute 30, depending on how much energy you use. It reduces the cooldown of your Vendetta, and essentially we will give the Rogue the Night Fae CTR reduction, which is gonna almost give him a Vendetta for every single go. And then the 4 set for Rogues is completely insane. Let's just look that up really quick, just for complete and total clarity. So, oh, what the fuck? What is it saying? Outlaw. Here we go. It causes, your Shiv causes your bleeds to gain 25% critical strike for 9 seconds. Pretty insane. Causes vendetta and poisons and bleeds on your target to expire 100% faster. So that is completely bonkers. If we're going to be shivving on every kidney and vendetting on like every single pre-CC, we're going to just do so much damage. I really think that Rogue Shadowpriest has the potential to be one of the best comps in the game, and we'll see that manifest itself when those 4 sets come out. Really love playing with rogues because they're able to lock people down. You can make swaps, you can rot people, just a lot of cool things you can do with rogue. The next comp that will probably be noticeably better for Night Fae Shadowpriest is to play with a mage. You can give your mage combustion CDR, and mages already have CDR built into their toolkit, just like rogues have vendetta CDR already. We're essentially just multiplying that CDR, and we're going to give them even quicker reductions on that cooldown so that there's more burst opportunity and more kill potential. As a Shadowpriest, no one ever was like, wow, that Shadowpriest just one-shot me. It's all about setting the kill up for your teammates. They have the burst, they have the finishing blow, to say, I guess, and if you're able to get that combustion back within a minute, the next stun, the next fear, you can just end the game completely. So we're going to be rocking a little bit of Rogue Shadowpriest and Mage Shadowpriest in the stream, hopefully in the upcoming weeks when we get those sets, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, it'll be a fun season, so let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'm sure we'll be tweaking this around as the season goes on, and I'll keep you guys updated on YouTube and Twitch, so check the stream out, and I'll be streaming a little bit more often now. So hope you guys have a fun time with the Night Fae PvP. Peace.